investigation, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind, in the darkness all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granny on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. When pennies crime busters ride, no victims left in pain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Granny fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everybody. Good to see everybody here. Chemistry Queen, Ginger Girl, hello. Brenda Joe, hello. Yes, that was good news. No eye surgery needed. That's awesome. That is awesome. Anna, hello. Linda, hello. Good to see you. All right. So let's start with the spotlight on the missing for today. Janetta Denise Ivory, missing since August 4th. Roanoke City, Virginia is where she went missing from. She's 15 years old. Last seen wearing a hoodie, pants, and multicolored Crocs. If anyone knows anything, please call the Roanoke City Police Department or 911. We need to get our kids home. Not forget about Jonathan Huang. No real news going on. Last possible sighting was Roanoke, Virginia, guys. He is autistic, presents himself as an 8 or 9-year-old, according to his parents. His only social action for most of his interaction for most of his life has been with his family. So he really needs to be home. Let's not forget about our buddy, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. There is a $500,000 reward. Guys, somebody knows something and it's time for people to speak, in my opinion. I think there are more people that know than ever before, and something needs to be said. Seeing a lot of stuff in the news about Craddock, and I just really don't feel that Craddock cares if Sebastian's found or not. That's my opinion. It's awful. Travis Decker is still on the loose somewhere. If anyone sees him, do not approach him. Call 911 immediately, guys. He is wanted for 3 counts of first-degree red rum and first-degree kidnapping for taking the lives of his 3 precious babies, Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, seen there with their mom. All right. Hello, Lori. Good to see you. Let's see if I missed anything else. Hello, Diane. Good to see you. All right. You talking about Sebastian? Yeah, I thought he would too. It's been going on for too long. And I just know that there are people who know exactly where he is. And they need to speak now. Hello, JDR. Good to see you. All right. So, I wanted to talk about Daniel's contradictions, right? And evidently so did Mike DeMann. So we are going to listen to a few things that Mike had to say about Daniel trying to untangle his web of lies and how he views those. There was a video, guys, that went out, and we talked about it last night a little bit, not about the video, but about possibility that our Mr. Bewitched was arrested. The channel in itself, I have watched a couple of different videos, and in my opinion, which I could be totally wrong, I really feel like that video is AI generated. And I don't know if anybody, hello, Trees, good to see you. I don't know if anybody has messed around with AI as far as trying to get wording, that kind of stuff. I have asked it to write some paragraphs for me, titles, that kind of thing, and about a certain subject, whatever I'm going to be talking on. And it, hello, Brian. It runs with it. It's like it knows parts of the truth and then it makes up the rest. And that's what I feel that this video did. So, I don't want to take the chance of putting something out there that is totally false. I think you guys know that about me. Right, chemistry? What a wicked web we weave. AI is good for some things, right? I mean, when I need a good, tricky title to grab attention and interest, it's great for that, but even then I have to kind of be picky because it tries to add things to the title that I don't want, so, I think what I found it works the best for is different pictures. If I want a picture, um, and I tell it what I want, it does it for me. Or no, not the best is the songs, right? Durwood song is the best, honestly. The AI does really good for the songs. I would love to know how this creator knows about RCMP warrants and their geofencing results. Does he, though? I'm just saying, does he? I'm telling you, I have seen AI write stuff that seems real and is not. So I don't know. Like I said, could be wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. All right. So let's go ahead and listen to what Daniel has to say. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Or I mean, what Mike has to say about Daniel's inconsistencies.
Rise. Really? I thought the internet is like a sea of lies, but the truth rises. Wouldn't that make a little bit more sense, people? But Daniel is currently living lie after lie. And when you tell lies, the dots do not connect. Because when you
Me
speak
either,
from
Ginger. Me
experiential
either.
memory, you have the ability, even if you forget something you were going to say, to get back to it by following the dots, how they naturally connect. It can be, in my case, for example, many times I need to stop immediately when there's something that's interesting or important. Otherwise, I'm very likely to forget it. Once I move on, I move on. But then, all of a sudden, it takes one keyword and I remember exactly what I was going to say. When you lie, you don't have this comfort. When you lie, the dots do not connect, but you need to always skip periods of time. There will always be timeline inconsistencies because the dots do not connect naturally. That is why we always hear the next thing you know, stuff like that. Because you have to leave out certain things. And if you talk too much, if you add too much from experiential memory, it gets too crowded in the timeline. And all of a sudden, you are stuck.
Okay, Lori. Yeah. All right. How about this? Do you guys want to watch the video together and we can discuss it? I can tell you what I think and why I think it is AI. We can do that. Let me know what you think. Okay. Yes, please. All right. Okay. All right. Let's change it. We will talk about it. Just going on the record, I think it's AI. I'm not so sure that anything is true about it. But let's listen. I will share this tab.
Cameras might contain clues about the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. RCMP asked her for days of footage as the investigation into the missing children approaches the 3-week mark.
It's scary, especially not knowing what happened.
Tammy.
We definitely keep our kids a little closer to home now.
Hello, Walla.
Later this afternoon, I got to them. Oh boy, and I can't say who they are, and I can't really say.
That's fine.
And I can't really say what they told me, but it's ironclad. It's 1,000%. Okay, I know exactly what happened to the kids. The kids are alive.
What is the RCMP hiding from us? Just 7 minutes ago, without warning, without a press conference, a new warrant was quietly filed in connection to the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. No statement, no press release. But make no mistake, this was not routine. This was deliberate, and it was.
Okay, keep in mind, guys, that everything in this case has been sealed. So how do we know? How does this person know that a warrant was issued? Right?
Targeted. According to 2 sources close to the investigation, this warrant directly names Darren Geddes, a man almost no one outside the case has heard of until now. But those inside? They say Geddes has been on the RCMP's radar for weeks. Geddes wasn't just a background figure.
Okay, so here's how I know it's AI. He said, Darren Geddes, a man almost no one has heard about until now. That's how I know it's AI making up crap. Because, you heard it even in here last night. Darren has been booted from many, many channels on YouTube. So he is well known. On YouTube, getting pretty well known on Facebook, guys. I don't know about Twitter or anything else, but just one of those things, kind of listen to the way that this narrator is talking and the things that they're saying and trying to portray some new information.
He had access. He was seen near the Sullivan home multiple times. He was friends with someone inside the family's inner circle. And new geolocation data shows his phone pinged twice near the bridge after the area had been cleared. He never reported it, never explained it. And then there's the messages, deleted ones. The digital forensics team recovered fragments of encrypted texts. At least 2 messages, timestamped days after the search began, mention the blanket spot. One simply said, "It's done." Our CMP won't confirm if Geddes wrote that text, but they've re-interviewed 3 people close to him in the last 24 hours. One person refused to cooperate. Another lawyered up. And according to an insider, someone cracked. Someone talked. We now know a vehicle matching Geddes was seen reversing down a gravel service road behind the search perimeter just days before the pink blanket was discovered. Why then? And why has it taken nearly 3 months for this name to surface? Because the case is more tangled than anyone realized. There are connections between.
Guys, it has not taken more than 3 months for Darren Geddes' name to surface. I mean, even he called the RCMP with this 1,000% ironclad information, right? Even the RCMP knew about Darren Geddes more than 3 months ago. Or, it hasn't taken 3 months, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know, right? I don't know. I agree. But it's just like, how they get away with it? It's just like an author who writes a book of fiction, right? Yes, even the news messes up, sadly. And guys, this was, let's see, this was put out 22 hours ago, right? So a day ago. And don't you think that if Darren Geddes was really behind bars, we would have heard something from someone? Right. But let's continue.
The Geddes family and a former CPS worker who visited the Sullivan home. Connections that may have helped keep him off the suspect list until now. Sources close to the investigation say the RCMP is preparing for a major legal escalation. Not just one arrest, but possibly multiple people charged for their roles before and after the children vanished. And here's the most chilling part. Authorities now suspect that the abduction wasn't spontaneous, that it was coordinated, planned, and the staged clues, the delayed statements, the silence, it was all part of a cover-up. A calculated one, but not perfect, because someone slipped. Someone underestimated how far this investigation would go. And now, with this new warrant, the walls are closing in. We'll be watching every update, every court filing, every lead. Subscribe now to stay ahead of the media, because when the truth breaks, it will break fast. And the fallout will change everything. Trail camera footage from Melissa Scott's property could be the evidence that breaks this case wide open. For nearly 3 weeks, our CMP combed through forests, followed dead-end tips, and re-interviewed dozens of people. But behind the scenes, they were also collecting digital.
Okay, there's another lie. They didn't search for 3 weeks. Yes, Belinda said he was called in for questioning, but she hadn't heard anything about him being arrested. If that kind of info was put out on YouTube about me and I was innocent, I'd be flipping pissed. Yeah. Exactly. And not to mention that everything in this case is sealed. They don't want the public knowing what they know. Yeah, possibly. Made by the RCMP to get them to squirm. Yes, he did say that. He called them all kinds of names. That's his favorite thing to do. He likes to call people names. Yeah. I'm certain, that they have a lot of questions for him. They're going to want to know, if Durwood really believes the information that he was giving out, they're going to want to know who said that to him. Where was he getting the information? Is Durwood AI? No, he's not. He's a real person. The people living in picture would have heard something. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think as well. Yeah, Durwood is not nice. He's not nice. He's been, and that's the thing that gets me about this about this video, right? Is saying that, we haven't heard him for 3 months. No, he has been a big fixture in this case. Oh, everybody knows him. All the YouTube creators have blocked him, and because you don't need anybody in your chats, calling people names. So let's continue on. See what other kind of garbage we can hear.
Footprints, texts, GPS data, and now raw trail cam footage from just outside the area where the pink blanket was found. Melissa's cameras, positioned along a remote access path near the wooded bridge, had been running for weeks. Silent, unmoving, recording everything. And now investigators believe those cameras may have captured someone returning to the area long after the official searches ended. According to multiple insiders close to the task force.
Okay, so guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't this lady's cameras, they were on the back side of the property, way over on the other side, right? So, which is not anywhere near where the pink blanket was found, because that is straight across if you're looking at what we're looking at right now, it'd be to the left, down a ways, a mile or two. So, but I remember them saying that her cameras were on the backside, and not, close by any means. And so we were all questioning at that time, why were they checking out her footage, right? Is the video of them taking the blanket out of the trash real? I'd like to see that. Well, Daniel said that he and his brother filmed it while they were taking it out of the trash, but I don't know. Was it real? Who knows? Can we believe Daniel? This video that we're watching says he was arrested, but we're watching it kind of to debunk it, Kate, because I believe that this video is AI, and it's AI written. It's already got some things wrong about the case. Kind of virtually saying Durwood was unknown. Nobody knew who he was until he was arrested, which as far as we know, he's not been arrested. So yeah, the story Durwood said was totally out of the park. Yeah. Yeah. It was bad. Overjoyed. Yes. I caught that, Ginger. Gotta love AI, right? Yeah, no worries, Kate. All right, let's continue on.
Force. The footage is now central to what's quietly being described as the final alignment of evidence. That's because shortly after the footage was requested, our CMP moved swiftly to secure a warrant. No press release, no media frenzy, just a sudden judicial motion approved late at night and targeted at one individual, Darren Geddes. Geddes' name has floated beneath the surface since the early days of the investigation. A friend of the family, a man who inserted himself into the search efforts. He handed out flyers, showed up at community vigils, comforted Caitlin, but quietly, his timeline never quite.
Who is Caitlin? And did he pass out flyers? I never heard anything about him passing out flyers. Did you guys? Hello, Paula. Durwood is Darren Geddes. He's allegedly relation to Malaya. Hello, Mama. Mama G. Can someone help me out when you get an aerial view of the trailers? There's only one old burn, yet sometimes they show for 5 burns. I'm not sure what you mean, Brian. The flyers flew by him just like the blanket. um, yeah. You know, all I've ever known Durwood to do is to go on YouTube and open his mouth. Right? Oh, 4 or 5 barns in the backyard. Gotcha. Of Daniel's place? No, I don't think he has been, Paula. You know, I don't think so at all. I think that this is an AI video, and basically I'm showing it to debunk it because the information in here is not accurate at all. Right? Exactly. It told quite a bit of true. Yes, AI takes true basic information, but then they add to it, right? Yeah, and at the end it said years later Daniel would say, yeah, right? They've never uploaded it. I'm gonna assume if the video is real, RCMP has it, I would think. But did Daniel really do that? I mean, I don't know. Arrested Development, maybe. Could be. Could very well be. Yeah, I'm sure they would. I don't think he's ever taken the time to do that, though. He's too busy, mouthing off. So let's continue on.
Held up. When our CMP dug into the details, they found inconsistencies. His phone's GPS data didn't match his statements. A digital forensics team retrieved deleted texts between Geddes and someone close to the Sullivan family, texts that have not been publicly released but are now considered key evidence. And then there was the polygraph. Geddes agreed to take one. He failed. Now, combine that with what the trail cam might show: movement near the bridge at night, days or even weeks after the pink blanket was allegedly discovered. Our CMP believes someone returned, possibly to stage the scene. And if Geddes is on that footage, it could mark the moment this case shifts from suspicion to prosecution. The warrant that was issued allows our CMP to seize additional electronics, including an old laptop Geddes had previously claimed was water damaged and unusable. They now believe it may contain deleted files, downloads, and communications linked to the period just before and after Lily and Jack vanished. Why does this matter? Because Geddes isn't just some distant acquaintance. He was reportedly around the children often. Some neighbors told investigators he had taken them on walks once or twice, and others recall moments where Jack seemed visibly upset around him. One even noted.
We have never, ever heard that. We have never, ever heard that. And even in the beginning, guys, do you remember when Geddes was telling us that he didn't even know that Jack and Lily were his relation? He didn't know them. So, what a bunch of baloney. Hello, O'Doyle. At the end of the day, these kids are still missing and nothing has been done. Well, I'm not going to say nothing has been done. Ginger. He called us idiots. Now AI has made him suspect number 1. Yeah. Raven Sunstar, I don't believe it is. There's too much stuff in here to be believed, and too much stuff that doesn't add up to what we already know at all. Anyway, I believe that RCMP has done quite a bit. You know, I understand that many people have said, you know, their kids go missing, they don't find them, that kind of thing. I get that. I'm not sure. I don't live there. I don't know. You know, I don't know. But I'm not real quick to go after law enforcement. I was just curious if the RCMP retrieved that piece too, because they do say the blanket on Lansdowne Station Pipeline Road. Well, there was a piece of the blanket, Walla, in a tree that Haley found, if I'm not mistaken. Haley and some others found in the tree. And I'll be honest with you, this was after RCMP had already searched that area, guys. So it really does make me wonder if that little piece of blanket hadn't been planted there. But here's what I'm going to say. Janie even said her and Justin ran into Daniel on that pipeline trail, and they brought him back to his friends. So why was he there? What was he doing? The other thing is, why, if the kids walked away, just bear with me for a minute, because I don't believe for a second that the kids walked away, not for a minute. The blanket, the piece of that blanket would not be in the tree. I mean, how are they going to get it there? So, yeah. Exactly, Paula. Hello, Bobby. That's a good question, Bobby, but I think that they're trying to find Jack and Lily. Other charges aligned with this case will come later, but RCMP's goal is to find out what happened to the kids. I agree, Chemistry. You know, whoever thought that we'd be defending Durwood? You know, here's what I think Durwood is guilty of. Running his mouth, obstruction of justice. That's what I think he's doing. Yeah, AI says Durwood planted the blanket, and he didn't even know the kids at the time. I mean, he didn't come into this from day one, guys. I'd have to go back to re-listen to some of his stuff, but it was later. It was after the kids were already missing. He didn't even know the kids were related to him when he heard about them missing. Yeah, that's kind of creepy. especially I kind of updated our video today. You guys want to see it now or you want to wait till later? I agree with you, Raven Sunstar. This stuff was all planted right down to one food print. Yep, I agree. Yes, it is to find bodies. Not in Canada, Paula. Correct me if I'm wrong, Canadians. Right? In Canada, it's different. I agree with you, Alicia. I had people questioning it, and I wanted to let people know, kind of point out a few of the a few of AI's ridiculous statements. No, I don't believe Malaya planted that piece of blanket either. Daniel was the one found there, and even Janie was surprised where they found him. So, you know, I have to wonder. I do remember Daniel saying he had an inside guy who could get to Malaya. Yes. And he even said more recently, he said that Durwood was really close to talking to Malaya and her family shut him down. Yeah. Durwood has been working for Daniel all along. The quad was a different day. It wasn't that morning, Tammy. Or it was later in the afternoon, but it wasn't that morning. That is not when Janie and Justin met him. No worries, Wendy. Yeah, and what's interesting is Malaya said that she did not know the blanket was in the garbage. So if Daniel knew that that blanket was in the trash, you know, here's my question. Why did he feel the need to film himself taking it out of the garbage? What for? What was the purpose of filming himself? If he really did. Did you ever stop to wonder maybe this crew has done this before? What do you mean, Brian? I mean, 2 kids are missing, so yeah. They certainly haven't put any effort into trying to find the kids, for sure. Canada, innocent until proven guilty? Really? I thought someone told me no, that was different. Who knows, Kate? Daniel likes to make himself sound important, right? I think he meant that Malaya and Durwood are related. So I think that's what he was talking about with meaning inside guy. Yeah, well, it's horrible. I don't understand what's going on in this world. And many children, even the ones that I spotlight every night, how many of them have some kind of medical condition? Or the ones that you do get things about, they're autistic. And it's like, what the heck is going on? I don't understand. I don't like to point fingers, but I remember hearing somewhere that Daniel would go out and stay out later always. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know if that's true or not. Hello, Bonnie. Now, please, Granny, lots of. Now, please. Oh, you want to watch the video? Okay. All right. But first, Lacey wants to say thank you. All right. Since we're talking about Durwood, let's show them. Okay.
Durwood's got a swagger, a wild little flair. Struts like a model, doesn't even care. Too sexy for his chair. Yeah, he's floating on air. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, he don't care. White girls bouncing, he's a walking affair. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. His reflection winks back, yeah, it knows the deal. Every step he takes, it's a catwalk reel. The world can't handle, oh, the way he feels. He's got that vibe, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White girl shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He's got that vibe, oh, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White girl shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He dances through the kitchen, spins in the hall. Even his shadow's having a ball. That chair's jealous, can't compete at all.
I love the KFC thing. All right. Remember that Janie said she told him not to overload the garbage bag. Then you have Malaya say her family never knew the blankie was in the garbage. Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I wonder where I got that from then. They claim that Bunch is all related. You mean Daniel's side of the family? Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's about the kids. It's always about those babies. Right? I'm gonna, when I get more time, I want to update. I want to see if I can make a video of him dancing, but I don't know how to do that. But I'm glad you like it, Mama. Oh, Anna, thank you. The chicken leg and the cigar and the cowboy hat and his belly hanging out. Too sexy. Too sexy. That chair is jealous. Yeah. Yeah. I've been listening to that for a while and I just realized that it talked about the chair being jealous. Oh, oh my gosh. Do you mean presumed innocent? Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that's the key, right? There's got to be some kind of evidence, which is not out of the realm of possibility, guys. We do not know what our CMP has, right? I mean, we just don't. So, they're not telling us, unlike what this video is trying to claim. Are warrants made in secret? Yes, yes, they are. Um, but here's the deal: if he was arrested, then we would know. Someone in Pictou would be telling us, right? And we would know. So, because this video came out yesterday, almost 24 hours ago. So there's no way we would have heard by now. um, yes, trees, it does come down to the amount of evidence. Yeah. Yeah. And they are working hard on this case. I think, the fact that this case is blew up, on YouTube, social media, I think it puts pressure on the RCMP. Yeah. I believe that, Brian. I believe that 100% that they have more evidence than we think or even know for sure. Oh, you can be sure of that, Anna. They're building it. They're building their case, right? Think about 5,000 videos, guys, that they're looking through. I can't even imagine. And they have to stay peeled, eyes on those. They can't look away even for a second because they could miss something, right? If they're going to stop to even take a drink, they have to pause it or do something because they cannot miss it. Yeah, Daniel tries to make his lies stink less. He knows, guys, here's the thing. He knows that his words have been picked apart and he has so many inconsistencies. So now he's trying to explain them all. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. According to Belinda, they have no suspects. And that may very, I believe what Belinda has said, but I don't think they're going to tell her, right? I really don't. They're not going to tell her if they have suspects. In any case, you always have suspects, but you're not going to make those suspects known. Yeah, I mean, he did say that, right? He tells them when he's going out. He tells them, yeah. Why? Why is he doing that? Yeah, it is a beautiful picture of the kids. I love it. Lily's eyes. This is my favorite picture of Lily. Her eyes and her smile here. It makes me want to just grab her and hug her tight. She's so beautiful. I agree with you, Chemistry Queen. Well, law enforcement as a whole have to be, Brian. They have to be sneaky. They can't tell what they're looking at because it'll give away their case. The suspect could run. The suspect could, yeah. The thing about Jackie boy, they call him. He's so cute. But how two different people told us, Belinda and Janie both told us that Jack's very serious. I think Janie said he's stubborn. But it took a lot to get him to smile. And that breaks my heart. Because that's a learned behavior. Children will naturally smile if somebody's smiling at them, guys, or making them laugh. And what is the first thing we do with our babies? What's the first thing we teach them? How to laugh, isn't it? How to smile. We coo at them and we talk to them so that they'll coo and they'll smile back at us. That's the first thing we teach our babies. So it's a learned behavior when a little boy that's 4 years old is difficult to get to smile. That's awful. I know, right? Can you imagine RCMP sitting back there and watching all the garbage going on? Because, guys, they're watching. There's no doubt in my mind that they're watching everything. They've probably seen our video of Durwood. I hope it made them laugh, gave them a little laughter for their day. I, Certain people should be shaking in their space cadet boots. I agree, Brian. I think they are playing Daniel like a fiddle. I agree too. He thinks he's so close with them, but yeah. Yeah, I agree, Mama G. They're not going to tell her. You know. No official suspects, but there are suspects. Yeah. That's true. That's very true. In my truth, you know how I feel about that, Walla. Daniel, the muddy water stuff sounds like he knows he and they effed up in the beginning, and he is trying to use reverse psychology for the things we picked up on the pothole. Yes. Oh, he's yeah. Oh, and he thinks he's so deep. He really does. The pothole in the driveway is suspicious to me, and I want to see a drone image of beforehand. See, I don't place that much importance on it, Walla. I don't believe it was really a pothole. I think that Janie was trying to rake away ATV tracks. Because I think they took those kids away on ATVs because they were afraid. Maybe that's why they took that footage from the backside from that lady's trail cams. I believe they took those kids away on the ATV. That's what I think. The police told me about a suspicious suspect when my daughter had a fire. It was arson. Yeah, that's a little bit different, though, I think, than a missing persons case, especially this missing persons case. This is ballooned into a big circus. I think RCMP are going to be very, very keeping things very close to the chest, and they're not going to say anything about a suspect. Not to mention, and guys, I'm not blaming Melinda at all, but I'm just going to say, she questioned, she went right to the source, whether she should have or not. I get that. But Belinda wanted answers, and she went right to the source and on the reserve, and it caused issues, didn't it? So it makes sense to me why they're not going to say anything, because they know she wants answers, right? And she doesn't care who she talks to get them. She's going to get them. And I don't blame her. But you have to realize that RCMP is going to be very careful about what they say, because they know she wants answers, right? And she's going to do whatever she has to do to get them. So a little bit different scenario, I think. I could be wrong, though. Hello, Drippy. Good to see you. Daniel was very keen on trying to find out what video they had from the day before. The RCMP saying they were protecting a witness was interesting to me. They were protecting a witness? Where did you hear that, Ginger? Mama G, we don't mention other creators or channels in our chat because it can cause issues. Yeah, like I said, learn behavior. You're not going to smile if you don't have anything to smile about, right? Yeah, I get that. Here's the thing. I don't think the kids are in the woods anyway. I really don't. But I get it. For those who do want to search, that does kind of suck. Daniel believes his own lies. RCMP never said they are protecting no one. Oh, so Daniel is the one that said RCMP is protecting a witness? If Daniel said it, I don't believe it. Right, Kimmer? Oh, yeah. It just melts your heart, doesn't it? That is one of life's greatest pleasures, watching a baby smile at you. Watching and then getting them to laugh. Oh, I love those days. I love those days. And their first laugh and getting them to laugh so hard they can't stop. Oh, it's so much fun. It just melts your heart. No offense to anyone or anything, but I don't know if they'd even legally consider them family because her son signed off his rights. I mean, he did, but she didn't, and she would have if she fought it in court. She would have legal rights to them because she is blood. But they're just not going to say anything to anybody. Here's the thing. They shouldn't even be talking to Daniel, in my opinion. He's not family. That's a good thought, Drippy. Along the shorelines, right? Along the riverbeds, as long as the river isn't in the woods. No, it was probably that little shed thing that's built up onto the hill that has a ladder going up to it. That's probably where he kept his rugs. Yeah, that's true. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think Daniel lied. Oh, I almost said the wrong word. That's awful. Yeah, I got that, Kate. I agree with you. No worries, Mama. No worries at all. I just like to tell people so you're aware that we don't do that. Don't slap your pretty hand. Don't do that. Okay, well, Darren said his son worked with Daniel. I don't know if his name is Jordan. I don't think he ever said his name. I agree with you. And that's why I believe they're not. It was planted. They wanted the RCMP to go down the wrong path, right? I don't know. I don't know if they do or not, but I know that you can legally get rights. I agree they shouldn't be talking to Daniel, and I don't really know how all that works. I just know when I was adopted by my grandfather was told he had no rights to me, but completely different situation. I think that there's 3 suspects in this: Daniel, Darren, and Darren. What? I don't think Darren is a suspect, Brian. I think Darren, in Daniel's words, was an inside guy to try to cause distraction from Daniel. That's what I think Darren is. Oh, okay. So Jordan was the witness? Yeah, right? Daniel wanted to see the video to know about what clothes the children were wearing the day before. He seems to be caught up on what they were wearing. Is that because Malaya told them that the kids were wearing something different? So now he's afraid that he's given RCMP wrong information. I mean, that doesn't make him family. Oh, does Daniel have a brother named Darren? Yeah, I mean, I agree, and they'll talk to him about that stuff. I don't know. Are we talking Durwood? Sounded scared in some of his interviews with other creators. What I've noticed about Durwood was anytime that somebody would call him out on his BS, he would call people names and then leave the chat. That's what I saw with Durwood. I agree. And honestly, I wouldn't want him talking to anybody. Here's the thing. Daniel keeps saying that he's talking to them, he's buddy with them, he's telling them everything and blah, 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 blah. But Janie said in her interview on camera with the news media that they hadn't heard from the police in weeks. So who's telling the truth? I don't know, Melissa. We had the same kind of issue with Sebastian, didn't we? Yeah, but he has more than one brother, I believe. The missing flyer at the time of their disappearance, Lily was believed to be wearing a pink Barbie top, pink rubber boots with rainbow print, and carrying a cream-colored backpack, strawberry print. I think until midnight. I think it was leakage for Daniel to say that he turned on the light to see them in their beds. That's when they were taken, I think. I agree with you, JDR. Daniel claims the clothing on the flyer is wrong and making an issue out of it. Of course, anything to distract, right? Granny, I knew early on Durwood was a dud. He said he was secretly trying to get info from Malaya's family, and he's on YouTube talking to everybody. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's why there's more to it than that, JDR. That's what I think. The last thing a parent would want to do is turn on the light to wake up your children, unless you really wanted to wake them up. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Even when my children were sleeping, if I was going in to put something away, like maybe they left something in the living room, toy or something, I wouldn't turn on the light. Right? Hello, Bernice. Good to see you. The link to the government reward for anyone who wants to see it. Interesting. Yes. Yes. I never heard that it was a pink sweater, by the way. I heard it was I heard pink top and pink Barbie top. For Jack, at the time of his disappearance, Jack was believed to be wearing a pull-up diaper, black Under Armour jogging pants, and blue rubber boots with dinosaur prints. Yeah. Nothing else. you know, and Lily just had on a shirt. Did she have on underwear? I mean, come on, guys. Right? I'm just saying. Yeah, she said the Barbie top was at home, was it? I'm seriously, guys, I don't believe anything Daniel says anymore. When and if he turned on the light, he found they were gone. That's a possible scenario. Could be. Could be. It is a possible scenario, JDR. But how would they have died? Right? Because I will say this. I don't think Malaya did anything to her children. I just don't. So, can't remember everyone said, yeah. I know. You know, we can't go by the timeline, the morning timeline. I don't believe that any of that happened in the morning at all. So what does that tell us? That tells us Malaya was giving a script. And the reason that I know Malaya was giving a script is because Daniel said the same thing. So they came up with that together. Had to have. I'm just saying. Very true, Trees. If Daniel was the last to see them at midnight, supposedly, that's even worse for him. Yeah. I agree with you, Bernice. You're right, Bobby. I never did. Well, maybe in the very beginning. I mean, in the beginning, when I come into a case, I do try to look at what face value, what the family, the players in the family, what, you know, who the important ones are. And in this case, the important ones are Malaya and Daniel until Janie came into the picture later, right? You know, I take their words at face value and until they show me differently. And he obviously showed us differently. I don't believe Malaya done anything to the kids. I could be wrong. Yeah. I think she's involved in lying. Right. Oh. Interesting. I don't know. Because she's in on the cover up, Tammy. That's what I think. That's why the whole timeline thing is scripted. She's in on the cover up. She knows that her kids are gone. That's what I think, in my opinion. You know, even Belinda said last night she felt that they're both culpable. Too convenient that Janie just happened to stay home so she could be Daniel's alibi. Yeah. Lying for what, Granny? For the timeline. All the things that her and Daniel said happened that morning. How they were both dozing in bed and they heard the kids, and then the kids must have been outside playing. They went out that back door and blah, 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 blah. That whole narrative, that whole morning timeline that her and Daniel were trying to present was a script. It was a lie. And I honestly believe that something happened with the children. I have been leaning on the fact that I think that it's accidental. Like they got into rugs or chemicals or something, and her and Daniel both panicked. So Daniel said, I'll get rid of their bodies. Nobody will find them. So maybe Malaya doesn't know where they are, but she knows her children are not alive, in my opinion. Does that explain, Tammy? I hope. Yes. And they lost Meadow anyway. They were scared because CPS had already been to the house, right? So yeah, Janie's saying she went back to sleep after hearing the children outside is just ridiculous. I agree with you. And her stories had changed too. And it didn't take long for him to show different than what he said. That whole family's done nothing, but I agree with you. And boy, they are protecting each other, aren't they, Bobby? They are protecting each other to the hilt. Yeah. Yep. I think Daniel was close by her too. My opinion, Daniel did something after Malaya and the children were sleeping. I mean, could be. Hello, Kristen. Good to see you. She's looking for an easy way out of that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they have not stayed together, and they're both blaming each other. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure, Tammy. Trying to cover her butt, maybe? I don't know. Christian, that could be a possibility, but I think it's a very slim one. The reason that I don't believe that is it's been 3 months. And I mean, think about it. If you're watching somebody's kids and their pictures are everywhere, You can't take them out anywhere with you. I mean, that would get old after a while. So I don't believe that anybody has those kids for that reason. I really don't. That's if the lawyer knows the story. If a person is lying, they may not tell the lawyer the truth. Yeah, she is. Leah says the last time she saw the children was when she put them to bed. Yes, that's a possibility. They could be talking to the police. I agree. I honestly don't believe Leah is very strong at all. I think she's going to break at some point. Sorry, Kristen, I'm trying to stay caught up. It's hard. If Daniel and Malaya know they passed away, they will be grieving on top of trying to look innocent and not saying anything incriminating. Gotcha. If Daniel and Malaya know they passed away, they would be grieving on top of trying to look innocent and not saying anything incriminating. Why do you think Malaya's not talking so much? But Daniel, different story, I think. She may flip on Daniel. Please put pressure on her. Yeah. That's a good question, Kristen. I hope they did. I hope they picked up all the garbage. You guys are losing my volume? Really? Can you hear me now? Okay. So the volume's okay? Yes. The one that stays close to police and searchers is the guilty one sometimes. Yeah. I'm in and out. I don't know why. Well, some people are having problems. Maybe refresh your screen. Sometimes YouTube is acting up, but it doesn't show it's a problem. Anything's going on my end. Some people can hear just fine, and others say they can't. And you're not hearing the cutting in and out on your end. So if some of you are having problems, it might be maybe you have to Refresh your screen. Yeah. That happens, Brian. Okay, good. Hi, Deb. Good to see you. So yeah, JDR, you can't hear? Okay. Go out and back in again, guys. Ian Huntley, perfect example, love reporters and talking to public, police, etc. Gotcha. Same thing with Chris and Katie. Remember, they said that they were close and talking to the police in the beginning, remember? Kristen, go back out and in again. That seems to be working for other people. Tammy, let's call Granny's Law here and we'll all lock the works of them up. Wouldn't that be nice? No, actually, without RCMP's evidence, I would never want to put someone behind bars under Granny's Law. We're here to just try to figure things out, right? Just to try to figure things out. What were you asking, Kristen? We don't know that. We have no idea, Kristen. Why won't her grandmother press charges for that money stolen? You know, that's the way some families are. They just would never, do that. And that, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just the way some families are. I think it's sad, very sad, right? Brian, did you go out and come back in again? Because it's not on my end, I promise you. And you know what? If they're really desperate, that is definitely one way, because that's grand larceny and that will keep them behind bars for a few years. Yeah, but it's family. And family probably doesn't believe that Malaya is guilty of anything. Grandma, right? Yes. Yes, Bobby. I look at that picture and it breaks my heart, honestly. Especially to think that she may no longer be walking this earth anymore. Heard a rumor that Patty was having heart issues, so we should pray she gets better. Yes. The last thing she's going to need is trying to press charges. She's having health issues. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I get it, Christian. I get it. You know, but if she is having health issues, you know, some families are just like that. It was Patty who told her word that Jack was being mistreated. I agree. Lucid, I think you're in the wrong channel. Yes, grandmas are every bit as protective as mamas and sometimes more. Possibly. I mean, stress sure doesn't help, but we don't know if she had any underlying conditions either. Then that's not for us to know. Not for us to know. But so yeah, as far as the video that we watched tonight, part of it, definitely AI, definitely not true. Irritates me that people get away with this kind of garbage. It really does. What are you gonna do, right? I mean, we could report it, but I don't think it would do any good. Yeah. When I was a little girl, my parents owned a corner grocery store. And I already mentioned I have a lot of cousins, right? We lived in an apartment in back of the store. Went up like 3 steps to our apartment. And there was a door that was closed, right, to our apartment. And one of the things that my parents did to teach us about honesty and integrity, right, was they left change sitting around the apartment here and there, everywhere. And told us that's our change. Don't touch it, right? So my sister and I knew you don't touch that change, right? My cousins would come over, and my one male cousin took the change, and he goes, "They won't ever know." And I said, "Don't do that. Don't do that. They'll know." Sure enough, and he got in big, big, big trouble, right? So it was a lesson that my parents taught us. You don't take what isn't yours, right? I've never forgotten that. Obviously, I'm, you know, heading into 70s, not too far away. Never forgot that. I was just, maybe 8 or 9 years old when that happened. So it's something that sticks with you. Yes, Tammy. Why wouldn't Malaya's mom be out looking and asking for the public's help? So you believe she knows what happens and keeping it shh. That's a really good question, Tammy. I guess I've not thought about it too much. We heard what Wade had to say, right? Wade has been around Malaya since she was young, from what I've heard. I could be wrong. I don't know. That's what I've heard. So I think, I think she suspects something. I don't know if she knows, but I think she suspects, and she's protecting Malaya, in my opinion. That's the best I can give you, Tammy. Yeah, it was a great lesson, right? It was a great lesson. Yep, that's parenting. Yeah, Tammy, it's a hard one. I'm not sure if she knows, though. I really don't. I don't know if she knows. Yeah, no problem. Either way, if she knows or if she doesn't, I think that she's protecting Malaya. That's what I think. Kimmer, I have to agree with you. Except, I will say this. Casey Anthony is devious and deceptive. I think Malaya is scared. That's what I think. I think Malaya is very scared. Yeah, that's true, Lori. I agree. Okay, Brian, thanks for being here. You have a good night. Do today's grannyism, right? Kind of a staple for us. You don't stop laughing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop laughing. I love that one. I liked it because people are always saying they love my giggles. So I thought, oh, yeah. I can never stop laughing. Tammy, I think she suspects something. And if her daughter isn't putting up posters, then why should she? Right? I think she suspects something. I really do. Yes, I agree, Nomo. Way more street smart. Very devious. Very devious. All right. Guys want to hear? Let's have some fun. Let's dance. Let's laugh a little. Right?
Always got a swagger, a wild little flair. Struts like a model, doesn't even care. Too sexy for his chair. Yeah, he's floating. floating on air. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, he don't care. White girls bouncing, he's a walking affair. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. His reflection winks back, yeah, it knows the deal. Every step he takes, it's a catwalk reel. The world can't handle, oh, the way he feels. He's got that vibe, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White girl shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He's got that vibe, oh, that glow. A little too much, but we can't say no. Too sexy for his chair. Too sexy, stop and stare. White girl shining, he's beyond compare. Oh, Durwood, you're too sexy for your chair. He dances through the kitchen, spins in the hall. Even his shadow's having a ball. That chair is jealous, can't compete at all.
Too sexy. Yes, I like the comment about the deer in the headlights. That's exactly what Malaya reminds me of. Exactly. Exactly. I agree. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here, for helping me debunk the AI video. I know. It's his hit song, right? For sure. Hi, Mr. Hemi. Kimber, you're welcome. Oh, Tammy, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yes, very peaceful. You don't have to worry about getting attacked, right? Especially now that Durwood is blocked, you know. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful night. We must thank Durwood. He has given us great giggles. Yeah, but he's blocked, so he can't hear us. Good night, everybody. Have a great night, and we will see you tomorrow night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granny'scrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.